Hi, years 5 and 6, Mrs. Flynn Clarke here to do some paper weaving with you. What we're going to do, you need to get a piece of A4 paper, fold it in half. I've already ruled some lines. I put a line here so I know when to stop. I made 1 centimetre marks to rule all the lines. Then we're going to cut each of those lines, and I ruled a line at the end to give me a stopping point. So carefully cut, and these will become what's called the warp. So it's the framework for your paper weaving. We're then going to cut out some coloured strips of paper, and that's the weft. That's the part that you weave over, under to make a woven placemat, I guess you could say. But it's the same principle that's used for all kinds of weaving. We're going to start with paper because it's fairly simple. If you want to make it a little bit easier, maybe don't make 1 centimetre lines. So there's my framework. Then I'm going to get some coloured paper. I want you to choose a colour scheme. You can use, I'm using 2 colours. I've put some 1 centimetre marks here, and I'm going to rule those and cut them out. I've already cut some out. I've chosen today a complementary colour scheme. If you remember, complementary colours are opposite on the colour wheel. You might like to choose warm colours. You might like to choose cool colours. It might depend on what you've got at home. You might like to choose analogous colours, if you can remember they're colours that are beside each other on the colour wheel. So you can have reds, oranges and yellows with some greens, because yellow and green are beside each other on the colour wheel. So you have to choose a colour scheme for this weaving. And then it's a matter of over, under, over, under. So a little bit fiddly. Takes a little bit of time, especially because these are smaller and quite narrow. But I find it quite relaxing to do. Now, the important thing to remember when weaving is you need to push it right to the top. That's called beating it up. And what I often do, so there's the first strip, is just get a glue stick. And once I've pushed it right up so it doesn't slip, I just pop a little bit of glue on the 2 ends to hold it firmly in place. Now, because I'm just using complementary colours opposite on the colour wheel, the most important thing now is it needs to go opposite. That purple's over, so I need to make sure the orange is under. And we just keep going along. Over, under, over, under. Over, under, over, under, and you'll start to see the pattern starting to form. Okay, then I beat it up, that's the weaving term, or push it up so it's right under the other one. A little bit of glue. And I'm ready to start my next row. If you get really good at this, you might, if you want to try some other things, I've folded here a piece of paper or a piece of cardboard in a concertina fold. I'm going to draw a little paper doll, simple one, on here, making sure that my hands, I'm going to give this one spiky hair. I don't know if you can see that. I'll cut it out and you'll be able to see. And I've made sure that my hands are touching the edge. If you don't do that, your paper doll will fall apart when you open it up. Whoops! Okay, that's exactly what you don't do. I'm going to just chop off his spiky hair. Well, that's not what to do. You don't rip your paper doll in half. I'll have to join my bodies back on. But what you can do then with a ruler and scissors is cut some slits in here and use some interesting material to weave over, under. So here's one I prepared earlier. These are paper dolls and they're woven with street directory maps. So kind of telling a story of a place I live. So they're just some extra things if you want to explore. All right, I hope you enjoy your art lesson this week and have fun. Okay, bye.